If you've seen the WCA event clock at all, you might notice that everyone uses the exact same puzzle. QiYi clock, QiYi clock, QiYi clock, and QiYi clock. This is how the QiYi clock changed cubing forever. So back in the 1980s, the clock was invented, and then a few years after, Erno Rubik bought it and sold it as a Rubik's product. And then in 2004, it was introduced in the WCA, people could compete in it officially. But then in 2008, people started a debate about clocks, saying that it wasn't a twisted puzzle like all the other events, and there wasn't any other hardware besides the Rubik's clock. Also, it's a pretty hard event to scramble, which meant not a lot of competitions could hold it. Now let's skip a few years to 2016, and the event isn't looking very good. There isn't any new hardware, and there also isn't a lot of competition. People are considering removing it from the WCA, mostly because of these 4 reasons. Lack of competition, it wasn't a twisted puzzle like all the other events, it was hard to scramble, and there wasn't any good hardware. But then 2 years later in 2019, the WCA removed through with the rear feet. This caused an uproar in the community, mostly because a lot of people just liked the event, but also because people thought clock should be removed instead. And with the departure of feet, people thought that the gaze of the WCA may shift towards clock now. But then a beacon of hope emerged. August 25th, 2020. QiYi, a company that's provided the community with loads of great puzzles, has just developed a clock. This clock was not just another puzzle. This puzzle was a monumental leap from the Rubik's clock. Firstly, it had magnetic pins, which was a huge leap from the Rubik's stiff pins. Also, it was just so much easier to turn, and everyone loved it.
The world's new best clock by far.
And I do believe it is the best on the market.
Ultimately, it's just a really comfortable puzzle, and I'm really impressed with QiYi.
It's clearly the best clock on the market.
I'd give this puzzle a 10 out of 10.
I think it's a complete game changer.
This is hands down the best clock.
Now for just a second, let's look back at the reasons why clock could have been removed from the WCA. Lack of competition, it wasn't a twisty puzzle like all the other events, it was hard to scramble, and finally, there was just no good hardware. Now that one of the main reasons the clock could have been removed from the WCA was eliminated, there just wasn't as much reason to remove it. Now as more and more months go by, more people start to learn clock because it was actually a decent puzzle on the market. Now as more and more people compete in the event, there becomes more records, more methods, and overall just more interest in the event. Now scripted nowadays, and clock has affirmed itself as one of people's favorite events. And all of that was possible, mostly because of the QiYi clock. And that is a story of how the QiYi clock changed cubing forever.